right, then missed the show. Just getting my last thing sorted here. Look, I might be. These last few days, everybody, they have just been not the greatest. It hasn't been the end of the world either, so that's okay. But yeah, just not the greatest, I guess, is how I would put it. Yeah, that's all right. That's all right. All right, there we go. Getting everything sorted. Super early, yes. No worries though. I'm a bit early too. We're only 12 minutes early, so I'm feeling okay about that. Hello, hello. Welcome in. Kaya and Kitty. Hello, welcome, welcome. Oh, I'm glad you got the notification. Hello, Willie B. Hello, Betharoni. Yeah, I think that's great. I think that's really great. Over here, it's so hard to tell on the talk who gets them and who does not. So it's a little frustrating, but that's all right. Oh my gosh! Oh no! Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that. In the ER on Saturday. Oh, it's so exhausting too. For those ER trips, it's just exhausting. I think the whole process, not even the harm that needs to be corrected, but just the process is like, what? It's a very stressful situation. Oh, I'm happy you're here, Violet. I'm happy you were able to join us tonight. So, hello, John. Hello. Oh, really? Thank you so much. You know, I've had these a couple of days because I think they're just so pretty. We've got the kind of winter blues here for anyone who has seasonal affective disorder, I think it's called. Can tend to start becoming a bit depressed around Thanksgiving and takes it all the way through January. So I kind of have to remind myself of that. So, but I love these. These are my winter blues, and they're lots of fun. Oh yes, we must wish Kaya getting better very soon, or take your time in getting better. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Yeah, it's been yikes, yikes, yikes. Well, thank you so much, Violet. I do try. I do try to keep things exciting because we are reading through incredibly exciting documents. I'm kidding. They're not that exciting. But, I mean, you gotta jazz things up a little bit, right? Hello, Thomas. Good to see you. Welcome, welcome. Oh, of course, Kay, of course. So, and I'm going to wait just a little bit here because I did announce that we go at 7 and 7 Central. So I do have the report here. Oh my goodness, everybody. Oh my goodness gracious. This is not a good, this is not a very flattering report here. There's some people not happy with Mr. Patel. I think it's Patel, right? Yes, Patel. And I also found this, everyone. Oh my gosh. So I'm just gonna, because we're here a little early. That would be Katie. I love it. I love it. Hello, hello. So I was going to say we've got the DOD. I can't even say the DOD on TikTok. I'll get a flag. And that's the only full strike I've ever had on my account was when I was explaining DOD stuff. I mean, so far, who knows what's going on anymore, but this is the Law of War Manual, and this is June of 2015. I have seen a few other versions, but this one's been updated as of July of 23, so I thought this is probably the closest we're going to get out of the Office of General Counsel, Department of Defense. So this is just a little sneak peek. I will be jumping into Kash Patel in here in just a couple of minutes. But, oh, thank you so much. Oh, that's so sweet of you, James. I appreciate it. I hope I'm saying your name correctly. I can't quite make out here. Let me make my screen a little bit bigger. I tell you, these days, everybody, it's been rough. Hello. Hi, Chris. Yes, last night. Yes, I remember. I remember, of course. Of course. Good to see you. Good to see everybody over here. Oh my gosh. I have not, I couldn't even believe that it's been like 2 months. The time just gets away from me. Navy Vet, hello. Sylvia, hello, hello. Hopefully I will be able to catch everybody in here. We'll just do a little quick bonus here for a few minutes before I get started on the meat or the tofu. I had been watching, I can't remember what, I've been fascinated by the boat situation right now in the Caribbean because it's so atrocious. And someone had pointed out these kind of like rules of engagement, essentially, that, I mean, it's the US Department of Defense. And the protocols when you find someone shipwrecked, right? Sick, wounded, or dead, and medical services. So under number 7, which I haven't printed out, this is like 5,000 pages, I think. Well, maybe I did. Did I get it? No, but I'm still. Well, anywho, there's protocol. And part of the protocol is like that you don't shoot them again. So that's like part of what you're not supposed to do. I thought that was really interesting. And so if anyone wants to take a peek at these rules as well, because we're really, the question is, were we in compliance with international law, which is important, but also, are we in compliance with our own law? And I think Legal Dad had a really good point last night when he was talking about international and how much authority the U.S. Believes international courts have, which is like almost zero. So the U.S. is like, we're special, we're not going to be part of your, law group. And so that makes it a bit more difficult at times. So I thought it would be very interesting. They did the second shot for self-defense. Oh, I know. Oh my gosh. A part of me is not, okay, a part of me is not that surprised because, and here's why. Because who remembers the sandwich guy? It wasn't in Philadelphia. Was it in Oregon? I can't remember. Oregon or Chicago. Remember the guy with the sandwich and he threw it at the dude and was like, "You're awful. We hate you." Does anyone remember that one? Oh, I know. How that's self-defense, right. Well, and a reasonable person standard would show, oh, it was in DC, of course, the only one I didn't name, of course. Well, anyway, all right, well, wherever he was, the sandwich hero, right, because he used to call Subway sandwiches heroes. All right, I'm sorry, that was bad. A Subway sandwich, okay. So here's the deal, why I'm not so surprised, because the Subway sandwich guy could not get indicted, right? They kept pulling in grand juries and they're like, forget that crap, we're not doing it. So they just had to go through the full process. But one of the things I found so interesting was that when they filed it was the government who was filing against the sandwich guy, right? So the government was saying, also, we want a restraining order. They were asking for a restraining order so that the sandwich guy couldn't get within like 100 feet of this specific officer because he was like, "I'm so scared of a sandwich coming at me." I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? I mean, that's when you know they're not really paying attention to the facts in the case. They're just throwing everything at them. So yeah, I think if I think if you are, well, they are expensive, true story. But if you are asking for a restraining order from getting a sandwich tossed at you, we may be in some trouble, everybody. Just gonna put that out there. All right. Yes, I know, right? Right. I know. It just doesn't even make any sense anymore. It's the sense is gone. But I did want to show you this, everyone. You can pull it up online yourself. It's available. Again, I've just printed out this first little piece. It's a huge manual. I'm probably not going to print the whole manual depending on, what happens in the next few days. But I think it's a really great resource. This is the other thing that I appreciate is when they set out what the abbreviations mean. I think that's one of the hardest things to deal with in the legal world is if you don't know what the abbreviations are, then you're not going to understand what they're talking about. And that just drives me bonkers. So I say get as many different uh, abbreviation things that you possibly can, and that will help quite a bit in the long term. So there's that, and then, oh, I think we're coming up here at just about at 7. So the Kash Patel report's wordy and fascinating. All right, so again, just to remind everybody, this is the one I was just looking at here. You can get this on the internet. It is free to everyone. And let's move this out of the way because, oh my goodness, everybody, just oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. The people who put this report together were very unimpressed. They were like, what? Oh, thanks, John. Oh, you're so sweet. You're so sweet. I appreciate all of you so much coming and hanging out with me over here. You know, I think it's just too stressful over on the talk, everybody. It's too stressful, getting flags or community guidelines violations and having to appeal stuff. And then, half of my videos aren't even being seen. And it's just too much. It's frustrating. So I need to take a break. And then when I'm taking a break, I look and see like, oh my gosh, I haven't been here for a while. That's not cool. People have to be, extra careful, right? And like, I can't even say the DOD over there. So, and I need to be able to say all of the words because Kash Patel, has earned that, all of the bad words. I do too, Betharoni, I do too. So, it's full of, really, John, what'd you do? I don't know. I've just got all the ballerinas getting ready for the Nutcracker. That's what I've got on mine. But anyway, it's not that saucy, but whatever. So here we go, everyone. Let's dive in. And my format's a little bit different over here because I don't need to leave space here at the bottom unless you're using your phone. So I've only got just a little bit. But if you need more space down here, of those of you on your phones, just let me know. So what we've got is, you need to fix that. Get yourself sorted out, John. Oh my goodness. Oh my gosh. Oh, you're cracking me up already, everybody. Thank you for that. So here we go. Source reporting and analysis from or of the Federal Bureau of Investigation under the leadership of FBI Director Kash Patel. Now, as I've said before, Mr. Kash Patel went to Colorado to testify that Trump should be on the ballot and talking about oaths and stuff. And at the end of it, when the judge made her ruling, she said, I just want you to know I didn't believe anything Kash Patel said. Which is like one of the funniest things I've ever heard. She's like, yeah, I can't even take his testimony in this case because he's lying. Like, okay, well now he's your FBI director, so yay. Oh, for sure, Jennifer. Oh, I'm glad you're here. I'm very glad. Welcome everyone. So anyway, he's a liar according to the court, but whatever. So they're calling this a pulse check for the first 6 months, so February through August. So the most recent incidents aren't going to be included in here because they really wanted this block. But this report just came out. It just became public. So that's kind of interesting. Now they made the report for the U.S. Senate Committee on the Judiciary. U.S. Senator Chuck Grassley, Republican out of Iowa, who's the chairman. And I think he's 125 years old, I think. He's like got some weird youth pill he can take. And the U.S. House Committee on the Judiciary, which is U.S. Representative Jim Jordan out of Ohio. And he's that wrestling dude that went after D.A. Willis in Georgia. And he tried to go after some other people too, but I think Fani's was the best response. So we have, the wrestling dude and then the really old dude, but whatever. This is put together by a National Alliance of Retired and Active Duty FBI Special Agents and Analysts. What I have liked about this, and I've read through some of it, I have not annotated at all. One of the things I like about this, though, is that it is written just by people who have done the job, have done the work, have put in the time. Like, there's no one way or the other when it comes to politics. Like, they clearly have said multiple times throughout this report, politics mean nothing. And if you bring politics in, is actually a negative. You're actually harming the situation, rather than helping. So I always thought that was interesting. So here we go. Here's our table of contents. First, we've got source and subsource reporting and analysis of the FBI under the leadership here of FBI Director. And I'm going to give you a spoiler. All right, spoiler time. They don't think he's doing very well. First, we've got an executive summary. Oh my gosh, I remember that day when he was testifying in Colorado. And I was like, what is he even saying? All right, B is the introduction. 10, we have 10 key findings. This is the part 2 that just cracks me up. Number 1, Trump derangement syndrome is alive and well. Demoralization of the January 6th pardons, clear and present politicalization of the FBI, FBI employee morale still trending downward, FBI director's culture of fear and paralysis, FBI director and deputy director's lack of experience, FBI leadership's unfortunate obsession with social media. That's my favorite title so far. Anger and frustration over orders to assist ICE. Diversity, equity, and inclusion, DEI, is no more. Mixed opinions on the progress to reform the FBI. So those are our key points. And and that's some pretty strong verbiage there. So D, we've got notable incidents. So again, this is just going through August. Here are 3 of them, though. The email signature block that they are instructed they're supposed to use now. The punitive polygraph examinations. This is a big one. So the lie detector test that they have to take regarding their loyalty to Trump. Like, that's crazy town. Next, the search for a medium-sized FBI raid jacket. This one's my favorite, everybody. I'm not going to spoil this one, but it's just really funny. Just keep in mind, Mr. Patel is a medium, all right? So he's going to play a key role in this particular incident. Oh my gosh. All right, and then we've got the genesis of the report, the source that started it, request for information, sources and methodology, shield of anonymity, recommendations and conclusions. So pretty well stated in the table of contents here. We've got lots of fabulous charts here as well. Here's our first one. So reporting persons, sources, and subsources. So these are the dates where they were reporting an issue here, and then the person was reporting Papa Romeo or Romeo Papa, who knows. Here's our sources. Here's the regions across the entire US. This one, though, on the 10th is not disclosed. It looks like the 15th isn't disclosed. So Alpha 47's reporting includes information obtained from 7 subsources. So they all have different names. We're going to see Alpha as the primary name, but then you look for the number, and that'll clarify who actually, which Alpha they're talking about. So they're saying Alpha 47 was reporting a lot. So that's the Alpha they will mostly be referring to. And we have an appendix here, so the request for information, which we're not getting any information. That sucks. Right. Yeah. It's weird. I laugh because this is so awful. This is so awful that he is in this position of power. Here we go. Source and subsource reporting and analysis of the Federal Bureau of Investigation under the leadership of FBI Director Kash Patel. Executive summary. Less than 4 months into the tenure of FBI Director Kash Patel, concerning anecdotal reporting about the FBI under his leadership was received by a national alliance of retired and active duty FBI special agents and analysts. They're the ones that wrote this. The information prompted researchers and authors of this report to take a pulse check of the FBI to look independently for indications that Director Patel was, in fact, living up to expectations to effectively lead and reform the FBI. Number 3, the preliminary findings were discouraging. We're discouraging. Ooh, do we need a sticky note, everybody? Are we okay, or should we do a sticky note on here? Just curious. Kash's children. Well, maybe. I think everything's on the table these days. I think, whatever you want to do is pretty much there. Okay, I'm not seeing it. Should we? Should we not? Well, and then also, am I close enough to this as well? I want to make sure I'm not too far away. Sticky note, please. And are we close enough to be able to see the language? Okay. That's the other one. I'll get my sticky note ready. Okay. All right. Good enough. Right. Sticky note always. That's what I was thinking. I was like, I don't know. I want to try something a little different, Everybody is different. So this is Kash Patel, FBI report. Who do I want to say? Okay, report. How about bad? Okay, you can see it. Oh, good. I'm glad. Can read the info. Okay. Oh, great. Oh, I'm happy to hear that. Kash Patel report. Report on his work, on his work, on his job so far. And it's no good. Not good. Oh my gosh, I'm cracking myself up a lot today, okay, everybody? Here we go. How's that work? Report on his job so far, and the report is not good. See, they're all there, right? They're all there. Oh my gosh. All right. Performance. Yes. Well, we'll see how this goes. If multiple people come in wondering what the sticky note is, just grab my attention. We'll redo it. Oh my gosh. All right, here we go. So preliminary findings were discouraging, which is a nice way of saying that, you suck. This is bad. All right, reliable, high-quality anecdotal reporting was collected from a total of 24 trusted sources and subsources located throughout various quadrants of the country. And again, these sources are going to need to have remained anonymous, or they could have some problems. Number 5, many of the sources and subsources were employed by the FBI, and a methodical line-by-line analysis of their reports, representing a snapshot taken during a recent 30-day period, revealed a troubling picture of a chronically underperforming agency debilitated by the next couple of pieces. And oh my gosh, how sad is it, everybody, when we're basically being told our FBI is not working properly under this kind of leadership? It's just sad. All right, A, low confidence in FBI leadership based on a lack of prior experience. B, a historically toxic culture of fear and operational paralysis. And C, deep-seated internal partisanship characterized by the authors of this report as potentially self-destructive because the partisan divide extends throughout all levels and divisions of the FBI workforce, from the FBI director, who previously campaigned for the president as a vocal critic of the FBI, to left-leaning factions embedded within the ranks of the FBI that have been reported to exhibit signs and symptoms of Trump derangement syndrome. Because so much is at stake for the public safety, national security, and the future of the FBI, The alliance is presenting all of its sources and subsource reporting and key findings to the American people and to Congress. In this report, entitled Source Reporting and Analysis of the FBI under the leadership of FBI Director Kash Patel, a pulse check on the first 6 months. This is not looking good here. This is not looking very good. To be clear, the authors of this report, who operate quietly as members of the alliance, would like nothing more than for the FBI and anyone who dares to serve as its director to succeed without limits and in all phases of the greater good and the nation, no matter the political party in power. But the authors also know that as subject matter experts on all things FBI redemption and resurrection on this proud agency will never be achieved unless there's full transparency. And that's a really good point. That can be both embarrassing and painful to expose critical cultural and operational deficiencies plaguing today's FBI. So, not playing around over here. Here's our introduction. The Federal Bureau of Investigation is a proud, iconic American institution facing its most daunting challenges to date. Founded in 1908 to protect America, the FBI, throughout much of its past century, enjoyed the reputational benefits of the de facto title of world's premier law enforcement agency. I would say we don't have that any longer. For its perceived level of professionalism and investigative accomplishments that kept the country safe. But in recent years, the FBI has been plagued by persistent accusations of politicalization against conservatives, ineffective leadership, pervasive mediocrity in operational performance, and an alarming decline in the standards applied to the selection of individuals hired to become FBI special agents. And then these footnotes are just citing those sources that they're getting that information from. Right. Has more, well, yeah, you might be right, John. You might be right, actually. I'm not sure. I can, I've not spoken to a Cheeto, but next, so we've got problems. There were calls to slash, disband, and shut down the FBI, and among its fiercest critics were supporters loyal to the 45th and 47th President of the United States, Mr. Orange, who were bound in solidarity on the assertion that the FBI failed in its fundamental mission of adherence to the rule of law when it was allegedly weaponized to undermine the president in his first presidential campaign. So we're going all the way back. We're going all the way back here to the beginning, back with the escalator. Number 5, critics brutalized the FBI in the press and on social media until the trajectory of the FBI pivoted dramatically 1 year ago this month when, on November 5th of 24, then former President Trump was elected to serve a second non-consecutive term. 25 days later, on November 30th, the president-elect nominated Kash Patel to become the next director of the FBI. He was touted at the time to be, bar none, the right man for the job. And Mr. Trump supporters celebrated the selection of Mr. Patel as the first step towards redemption for the FBI's past abuses and America's best hope to resurrect the troubled agency. All right, then. On February 20th, Mr. Patel's nomination was confirmed by 51 to 49 votes in the Senate, and on the following day, Kash Patel was sworn in to lead the FBI, which is awful. It's just awful. Next, here are our 10 key findings that we have here. Yeah, right. Oh my gosh, the cult. People get so offended if you say they're in a cult. Have you noticed that? Like, I am not in a cult. And I'm like, that's what the cult told you to say. Like, you're unfair. You need to get out of here. Also, what they told you to say. It's hard to have a real, anyway, I digress. You know what I'm saying, everybody. Here are the 10 key findings. All right. First, listed in detail on the pages that follow. 10 key findings derived from an exhaustive review and analysis of all anecdotal reporting provided by the sources and subsources who voluntarily shared their opinion on the state of the FBI under the leadership of FBI Director Kash Patel. No, it's so clear that they're saying we're listening to their opinions. We're not here for all the facts. We're here for the facts wrapped in your opinion. So I think that's great to kind of have that set out right at the forefront. Their collective reporting is the foundation of this report, and the reader is encouraged to review each source's and subsources bona fides and full report as provided in section 2, reporting persons, sources, and subsources. So they're saying, go look at the source yourself if you don't believe us. All right, here's our 10 key findings here. Are these kinds of reports typical? No, I wouldn't say this is typical at all. You know, I can't say the FBI hasn't had problems in the past because they sure have. They're a roller coaster. It can be like really good, sharp, getting all over it, taking care of the clan, those kinds of things. And then they can just like fall back down and become part of the problem as well. And part of the removal of rights too. I mean, especially when you think of, kind of the 60s and 70s, that period of time, that's, can be a really difficult time to look and see, like, what was the FBI doing? They were doing nothing. And even back in Prohibition days, they were actually part of, sneaking the moonshine over there. So I wouldn't say it's typical. I would say that, yeah, this isn't normal. Oh my gosh, I'm trying to think of the other very famous FBI director. Oh my gosh, I can't think of it. Who was it? It was that he tapped everybody's phone and listened in on conversations that he shouldn't have and kind of ran around with a grumpy face. I can't remember his name. No, not Comey. Was it Hoover? Was it? No, not Comey. Although that would have been funny. No, the one in the back. Is it? I thought Hoover was the name of the president. Is that it? All right. Hold on a second. Is it Herbert? Hoover. Yeah, Herbert Hoover was a president. So no, it's not Hoover. His brother. Really? Oh my goodness. All right. Hoover brother. We can't go forward unless we find the correct answer. Brother FBI agent. J. Edgar Hoover. Yes. All right. Oh, we love that. And you're right. Oh my gosh, I learned something new tonight, everybody. Oh, woohoo, look at that. All right, so Herbert Hoover was the president, and then J. Edgar Hoover was the FBI. Oh, wait, you're all writing it down in here. But I just looked at the comments, right? Wow, that's so cool. Thank you so much. Wow, I had no idea. Okay. Hey, JC, good to see you. Is named after him. Really? I think that's why I got it tangled up, because the names are familiar. But anyway, all right. So as we walk through that piece of history that I personally did not know before, but now I do know, good for me. That was the other situation. There were a lot of questions about him, and he had a lot of leeway. And that makes sense now that his brother was president. So, all right. The point is, the FBI is not the greatest thing ever. They make mistakes, but they just go through phases. So here we go. Here's our findings. Derangement syndrome, it's alive and well. The pardons, politicization, you know what I'm saying? Politicizing, I can't. Moving on, FBI employee morale. Culture of fear. We kind of already gone through this here. Director and deputy director's lack of experience. Leadership, unfortunate obsession with social media, my personal favorite. And anger, frustration over orders, right? Because they brought in a ton of FBI to kind of back up ICE. And I can't imagine. Well, just think for a minute. You are an FBI special agent. You've been working in the FBI for 15 years, all right? And you're like, you stay low, stay off the radar. I'm just here to do my job and help. So they're kind of like out of it. They're out of the zone here of danger, and then they get pulled in to like back up some like dumbass ICE person. Right? They don't know what they're doing. Like their whole faces are masked with sunglasses. It's like, I know you can't breathe in there, and they don't care. And they're doing all this crap, and the FBI agents like, that's not how you're supposed to do that. But then the ICE people are like, oh, I'm so cool, whatever, shut up, man, I got this. I can't even imagine it. That would lead to my resignation. Like at the end of the day, I'd be like, we're done. I can't do this. This is too much. It would have been awful. Right. Oh, J. Edgar Hoover was super paranoid? Yes, true, absolutely. All right, and then we got diversity, equity, and inclusion, so DEI, and mixed opinions on the progress to reform the FBI. It's hard to reform the FBI when you don't trust the person in charge of it. So I can see how that would be difficult. Here we go. So let's go through each one of these. Here, gotta get a little tea break. That's not tea. All right, here we go. Trump derangement syndrome, this TDS. My goodness, I hate this so much. The reason I don't like them using this phrase is because they're using some kind of like a smack at science. They're like, oh, syndrome, so whatever. But in the end, they don't believe in science. And so that to me is the frustrating part. It's like you can name all kinds of things, but I thought you said that, science was, the source of evil. So it kind of bugs me. Yeah, that's what bugs me about it. All right, multiple sources independently report FBI special agents dislike Trump, with one source clarifying the reporting by revealing, quote, she has witnessed an increasing number of FBI special agents who dislike the president. Reporting from this source indicated that the number of FBI employees exhibiting TDS is much more widespread than within the FBI. Oh dear. Their personal views, according to reporting received from this source, are a major detriment to the FBI's ability to investigate complex crimes, because many FBI employees have lost their ability to think critically about an issue and distinguish fact from fiction. Wow. That's wow. So they're basically dumbing down the FBI. And that's really horrific. Another source reported FBI employees openly discussing their dislike for the president and making off-color comments about his administration. Another FBI employee, a subsource, noted that privately, since January of 2025, law enforcement and intelligence partners from partner countries have admitted fear that the current president, Trump, and his administration may cause long-term damage to international cooperations. The first source cited in this section blamed a, quote, shift in recruitment priorities that populated the FBI in many cases with teachers who were more left-leaning in their personal views, including the view that the government could provide solutions to many of today's problems. That's really sad. Oh, that's so sad. Oh my gosh. All right. Next, finding number 2. The demoralization of January 6 pardons. Again, if you're working in some kind of law enforcement and you see thousands of people who have been found guilty beyond a reasonable doubt, have had sentences, have been on the road to having accountability, and then the next day they're all let free, right? I mean, that's like one of the worst possible things you could do, because that's truly showing the end of the system actually working. Highlighting strong and persistent objections to Trump's January 20th executive order granting pardons and commutation of sentences for certain offenses relating to the events at or near the United States Capitol on January 6th, a subsource who's an FBI employee reported that she is demoralized that the president pardoned those rightfully convicted for their role in J6. According to the reporting, the FBI employees said she did her job and performed honorably within all FBI guidelines and the laws of the United States, adding she lives in fear that her family, because she believed those who were pardoned or who otherwise support insurrection ideology will target him, her, and her family. And I think that's something we don't talk about enough, everybody. It's not just that, all of these people were given pardons, but all of the people doing their job properly with honor, holding up their oath to the Constitution, are now freaking out and scared because these people could come back. Now, as a regular prosecutor, I felt that way all the time. I cannot imagine how awful that must be for these FBI agents. I mean, it's just awful. Right. Well, I mean, come on. I tell you, the TDS, seriously. No. This, Jennifer, I'm glad you asked. No, this is information that they've been getting since the beginning. They started in February, but this report had been finished. It just had not been made public until like yesterday. So this has already been put together months ago. All right. Another source independently reported FBI special agents are upset about the list, the FBI personnel who worked on J6 investigations, understandably so. And the source further reported FBI special agents on those lists were just following orders to investigate the J6 cases. Note, the lists were reportedly provided by the FBI to the U.S. Department of Justice for review as ordered and have not, as of the date of this report, been released to the public. So they are still in an ongoing situation. And just a heads up, there are multiple lawsuits that have been filed because of that. So they're also fighting it in court. But it's difficult. Of course. Sorry, I got too excited. Of course. Oh my gosh, the victims, everybody. They're still going forward on their civil case, so that's good at least. All right, clear and present of politicization. Did I get it? Politicization. Something's happened. I'm unable to say this word. It might be because of my beverage of choice tonight. Thanks for all you do. Oh, you're so sweet. Oh, lawyer mom, thank you so much. And thank you. I just appreciate you all coming in and hanging out with me. I just love it to bits. I really do. So I thank you for being here. We're just gonna call present politicalization. Wait, did I say it? The FBI. On the politicalization of the FBI, reliable, high-quality source reporting indicated older FBI employees felt that the FBI was becoming too political and that it seemed like FBI employees had lost their objectivity where investigations were concerned. While another source also reported she has heard several conversations among people around the office, including members of the source's own squad, that centered on a common theme: how overly political the FBI had become, especially during the years when Mr. Comey and Mr. Wray served as FBI directors. And again, another important piece here because of all of the Hillary Clinton stuff, right? You know what I mean? Thank goodness, John. Ooh, thanks goodness. So yes, again, I think having Comey stay there for as long as he did, I think, could be seen as a bit political. Reporting by the source further revealed everyone at the FBI is weary from the constant politics. I have no doubt. Additionally, the first source cited in this section reported televisions in the FBI field office had MSNBC and CNN on. Fox News, the source said, was nowhere to be found, emphasis added. This source reported this was concerning because the younger FBI personnel, if they watched the news at all, received their information from left-leaning news outlets, which the source believed were not always accurate. There was no trust but verify going on. So what do we think about that here? What do we think about that? I'm not sure. I kind of look at this in the same vein as I look at Christmas decorations, right? So in federal buildings, we're not supposed to have any like establishment of a religion. So what people have done then is they've put out, a little bit of Christmas, a little bit of Hanukkah, a little bit of, oh my gosh, I forgot. Oh my gosh, the other one. Oh my gosh, I forgot. Oh, what's the other one? Oh my gosh, I gotta type it out here. Oh my goodness, how could I forget? Okay. Okay, hold on. Here we go. Well, that's not helpful. Does anybody? Oh my gosh, how could I have forgotten? I'm struggling tonight, everybody. I'm struggling a little bit. Kwanzaa. Oh my gosh, Nancy. Yes, thank you so much. Kwanzaa, Kwanzaa, Kwanzaa. Kwanzaa, right. Oh my goodness. We shall all remember the Kwanzaa until the end of time. Correct. And of course, there's Yule. And then a few weeks later, we have like the Chinese New Year situation. And a lot of our Orthodox people have their, turn of the year celebration. So there's a lot going on. There's a lot going on with all of that. So the point was, you can't just have one religion in your federal building. And so what I'm seeing when I'm looking at this is what they're saying is we don't want them to have just one kind of news source, right? Because you're not catching all the different angles, as we all know. So I can see where they're coming from on this, but again, I don't know. Should they have a TV on or not? I don't know. I mean, could they just put in like a Ken Burns, like really long documentary? You know what I'm saying? When in doubt, ask the chat. You bet. Oh my gosh. All of you. It's like all these brains coming together. Like we're super powered now. Hum-de-doo. Also, lest I forget, there's also a goat day for Sweden. There's a special goat day. I think you have to wear like a goat mask. No, that doesn't sound right. But anyway, there's a ton of holidays here. So we got to make sure that everyone's represented. And as a quick off-roading side note, everybody, oh my gosh. So I've probably told some of you this before, but I went to my very first, okay, so when I was a prosecutor, I had been working in the county I was prosecuting for almost a year. It was like 9 months before Christmas came around. Now, this was a few years ago for sure, but for me, I'm just very staunch. I'm like, if you're gonna do Christmas, we gotta get everything out. Where's the dreidels? Where's the amazing food that we're celebrating? Where's all that stuff? But I was in little, Podunkville, so they didn't have any of that, and I was like, whatever. But then there was this like gift giving thing where all of the prosecutors, we all sat around the table, and then like the chief prosecutor was there, and you like would hand each other gifts, I guess, and then you could trade it for something else that somebody else had. All right, it's like a fun little game. But to me, I was like, this is so offensive because they only had Christmas stuff. And there was a fellow prosecutor that was Jewish. And I'm like, all right, whatever. So anyway, I thought it was just supposed to be a joke. I thought there's no way a room full of 12 attorneys are really like okay with this. They know it's not constitutional to do this. So, so I just got like a gift card from McDonald's for like $10. I really had no idea. I'd not ever participated in anything like this. I just didn't go to work on the days that they were doing it. So anyway, needless to say, by the end, by the end of it, oh my gosh, everybody, there was one gift left, and it was the McDonald's, like, that was mine. It was a McDonald's, like, $10 gift certificate. These are lawyers. Like, they could buy half of McDonald's if they wanted to. But for me, I was like, ugh, I got to do something. They said I had to do something, so I did. And I think that was the beginning of them thinking I was a little bit different. I was like, what do you want me to do? We don't celebrate Christmas. We don't do this kind of stuff. Like, I don't even know what you're doing. I didn't even know what it was called. But, like, I was thinking I should take something, right? I can't just sit there and everybody else is handing presents around. So I was like, so I drove through McDonald's and I'm like, I need 2 cups of coffee, and they're both for me. And then a $10 gift card. Oh my gosh. Some people never forgave me for that. Oh my gosh. Well, it certainly wasn't explained to me at all. And of course, the inference was, everybody here is Christian. I'm like, well, that's not true. But, whatever. I guess one year they started pulling out, they had like not a menorah, but the dreidel. And so they would put this little dreidel next to like all of the Christmas decoration. And then they would go to the one person who was Jewish and be like, here you go. See, look, isn't that cool? We're representing you. Drives me crazy. All right, that was off-roading. That seriously is one of those stories where I'm just like, I don't think I was wrong. I don't. If I was wrong, then so be it. But it's supposed to be under $20. Well, right? Not at all. Maybe bet. Seriously, I mean, I was so young when I graduated law school. I was the youngest person that went in our class. And then I was still pretty green when I left. So I didn't understand it. So I don't know. I don't know if I got points deducted or what. But, right. And the shortest, I know, right? I had all kinds of things going against me. But I really had truly no idea what they were doing. That just was not a custom in my world. That was not something that we did. So I was like, well, here you go. Maybe I should have put some fries in there. I don't know what happened. Anyway, they looked at me a little different after that. Oh my gosh. All right. Enough of that. Number 4, key finding. Number 4, FBI employee morale still trending downwards. Oh my gosh. All right. Standing out as uniquely positive report on FBI employee morale, one source reported, her personal morale and the morale of the FBI employees she worked with is high. The source added the CT, or counterterrorism and criminal issues, worked by the FBI field office's Joint Task Force are, unlike during the previous administration, the White House, completely supported by the DOJ and the FBI field office, respective USAO. So that's interesting. I think this person is saying that, are they saying like a crackdown on, what is it? Are we saying the crackdown on drugs here? Criminal issues. So they're going forward more frequently with criminal issues. Oh yeah, I agree. Higseth, man, he's in some troubles. Another source independently reported FBI's operational effectiveness has dramatically improved with the current administration's refocus on criminal and counterterrorism issues. Well, that's interesting. I think that's interesting. Operational effectiveness has dramatically improved. I think that's interesting because, just to put another note in here, right? For Trump to be the president, any of these FBI people that are going to go hardcore, really much harder than they need to go, and maybe not follow the rules exactly right? So kind of vigilante stuff going on, because in the back of their mind, they're thinking, even if I get caught or I get into trouble, I'm going to get a pardon, right? Because I'm doing what Trump told me to do. So that could absolutely be a reason why they're like, yeah, let's go forward and do all of this, which they couldn't do before because laws would be broken. Just a thought out there. So it has dramatically improved, refocusing on criminal and counterterrorism. The source further reported there is more walking on eggshells to convince FBI management, the USAO, or the DOJ what needs to be done. So they have to be careful how they present it. Next, however, reporting collected from other sources indicate FBI employee morale overall is trending downwards, ranging from fine to low to bad to terrible. All right, that's definitely trending down. Right, right. Next, here, hold on a second. All right, one source reported the employee morale under Kash Patel, and FBI Deputy Director Dan Bogino, is low, and that morale at the FBI was also low during the tenures of former FBI directors Comey and Christopher Wray, as they, according to the source, began to draw the FBI into the political arena and engage in several questionable actions that contributed to negative perceptions of the FBI. What, John? What? 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 Tell me. What? What did I miss? Another source reported morale at the FBI is bad, especially among FBI employees with more than 10 years on the job. Okay, you can't just do OMG and not explain it. Morale, again, at the FBI is bad, especially among FBI employees with 10 years or more, because experienced FBI employers are marginalized and are not being allowed to provide their input into FBI operations and the culture of today's FBI. So that's kind of what we're talking about, right? We're going down that road of saying the career people that have made this literally their career have the most knowledge and experience, and they're getting pushed to the side. And that's got to be incredibly frustrating and very disrespectful. Which name? The way I pronounced which name? Oh, Dan Bogino? Is that not right? Right? Is that not? It's Bongino? How do you get Bongino out of that? Bongino. Okay. I would be too. I would be super upset with that. I mean, right? Your whole life. And then the other thing too is that you still have to go to work. And rather than be utilized as the person with that kind of knowledge and experience, and they're like, we don't care. We don't want to hear what you have to say about that. I would say that'd be very frustrating. Oh, it's fine. Okay. So it's fine. All right. All right. Well, sorry. Sorry about that. Oh dear. Oh dear. Thomas. All right. A third source reported the morale at the FBI is terrible, and that the FBI employees who are eligible to retire are retiring. And that actually seems to be kind of controversial in the legal community, just as a little heads up, because there is this question, like, if we lose all the good people, right? In the DOJ, at least, this is how it was kind of viewed. If we lose all the good people, who's going to be, defending America? Because that's their job, right? But then on the other hand, if people are being asked to do things that are criminal or immoral, they have to be able to sleep at night, and that might not happen if you just hang out and try to deal with it. So, I can see it both ways. I can see it both ways